YouTube family? My name is Mike. Welcome to the Road to Wellness. If you're like me, you've done all the diets, the working out, the calorie restriction, the feeling awful, looking at the scale constantly, and just not knowing how to lose that weight. Or maybe you lost the weight, like I did once before, but you gained it all back. Well, I'm here to tell you a little secret, something you probably already know. A lot of the stuff that even personal trainers and even a lot of the health industry is putting out there just isn't right. I'm here to give you some real science and give you some real answers about how your hormones, along with your diet and exercise, are the key to your weight loss. Now, the first secret to weight loss is determination, which is what you're doing right now, which is why you're on this channel. Too many times I've seen people, muscular personal trainers and bodybuilders get on these channels and say, hey, well, you just didn't try hard enough, or you didn't go hard enough in the gym. Well, the honest truth is, I see a lot of people in the gym, and especially my gym back home. I see a lot of people in there for hours and hours, and honestly, they spend a lot of time and a lot of effort there trying to lose the weight. There's a big stream of misinformation going on out there. That's the reason I made this channel, because it's taken me probably a year and 3 months. I went from 267 pounds, and from my calculations back then, which, let's be honest, they probably weren't very accurate because I didn't want to admit just how overweight I was 267 and about 30% body fat. Currently, I'm sitting at around 212 pounds and 18% body fat. Now, I'm not saying it'll take you a year to lose that kind of weight. Why I'm here is to share with you all the information that I've learned over that time, because it's a huge learning curve. The other secret I'm here to tell you is there's no short or quick answer to losing weight. Now, let me tell you, there are so many aspects to losing weight, it's almost a little bit ridiculous. Don't let it overwhelm you. I'm going to take all this information and cram it down for you, make some understandable videos so you know what exactly needs to be done to lose that weight and keep it off. There's so much information we needed to talk about that this is going to take quite a few videos. Let me tell you that all of this boils down to hormones. There's leptin, there's insulin, and honestly there's a whole laundry list of hormones that go into every function that your body has. And I think we forget a really basic concept that we learned in middle school and high school, that chemistry is everything. It's just like water. You can't have a water molecule without hydrogen and oxygen. And you can't lose the weight without knowing exactly how your body works. And I know, saying this probably has you thinking, well, what do I do? Just not eat? No? Well, yes, but it's a little more complicated than that, because obviously you need to eat to survive. What we need to do is make your body more sensitive to insulin so that when you do eat, you're actually taking in the good nutrients and not just storing it all as fat. Now, I don't know if you've ever talked to a personal trainer, but I have. I've talked to plenty of them, and unfortunately they have this common doctrine that you should eat every 2 hours or you'll go catabolic, or you won't get gains, or your muscles will waste away. And they actually think that that's the best way to lose weight because of thermodynamics. Well, unfortunately, as you know, thermodynamics doesn't work that way. And no, you won't go catabolic if you don't eat every 2 hours. That's just a flat out myth. What we need to do is get control of your insulin. And how we do that is through fasting. A lot of people dismiss fasting as a fad, but when you really look at the science and how your body works, it makes perfect sense. You can't tap into fat burning without turning off your insulin. Because as long as your body has carbohydrates to use, that's what it's going to use, because that's what it prefers to use. But in today's day and age, we're eating 3 to 6 times a day. If you're lucky, only 3. But a lot of fitness professionals out there are telling people to eat 6 or even 8 times a day. Now let me tell you a story about when I was a kid. I went to the doctor. I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and my mom wanted to figure out why I was always hungry, why no matter how much I ate, I just wanted to keep eating. I was always hungry. I mean, it would be ridiculous. I would eat, and even 30 minutes to an hour after, I would still be hungry. Well, the doctor told me I had insulin resistance, and I didn't know what that meant. You know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. So I took it on the doctor's word. He told me that I should keep some candy in my pocket, or eat more frequently but less, or eat longer, like take more time to eat. And it never took care of this problem. In fact, it exacerbated this problem, especially when I tried to do the full calorie restriction thing. I would eat, 300-400 calories, try to make it to 2 hours later, and in an hour I'm just starving. So anyways, by now you get the moral of that story. Eating 6 to 8 times a day doesn't work. Calorie restriction and thermodynamics, they are a part of the whole equation. Insulin is part of the whole equation, but the whole equation is pretty complicated, to be honest. Now, by now, you're probably wondering, what exactly do I need to do to start losing weight? Well, the first step to reducing your insulin and tapping into fat burning is to get that insulin level down. Now, the way you do that is, first, you should probably keep track of how many times you're eating in a day currently. If you're eating 6 to 8 times a day, let's cut it down to 5. Now, part of losing weight is sustainability. So that's why I want you to take steps at this and work your way towards it. Now, some of you might have the willpower to just go out tomorrow and not eat breakfast at all and eat lunch and dinner and that's it. But part of losing weight is sustainability. So what we want to do is take steps, gradually get there. What you need to do is see how many times you're eating in a day. If you're eating 5 times a day, let's take it down to 4. If you're eating 6 times a day, let's take it down to 5. Now let's also look at the window in which you're eating. If your feeding window is normally between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., that's a 12-hour feeding window. That means that you're already fasting 12 hours, so good job. What we want to do is slowly close that window, and we're not going to close it all the way. Don't worry, I'm not telling you to starve yourself. But what we're going to do is, if you normally start breakfast at 7, let's try to push it to 8. If you normally wait till break time at 9:30 at work to eat breakfast, let's push it to 10:30. And do that for a week or 2 until you feel comfortable enough to move to the next step, which is 2 hours. Now, once you get to that 2-hour mark, let's see if we can phase out a meal. Now, don't mistake me. I'm not telling you to starve yourself. you're still gonna get your proper nutrients and even a decent amount of calories. I'm just telling you to close the window as to when you get those calories in. And what we're doing is minimizing the window that your insulin is active so that in between feeding periods, you're burning fat. Now, the reason you need to ease into this is because after so long of eating 3 to 8 times a day, your body will actually stop producing the enzymes that it needs to process and use fat as a fuel. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get your body to switch over from using glycogen to using fat for fuel. And another tip that will help you get between meals, especially if you cut out the snacks in between those meals, is to eat more fats. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and chug a bunch of corn oil, but you can do stuff like, and great stuff, like eat bacon, eat a hamburger, minus the bun preferably, but if you have to, until you get off the refined carbs, just make sure you're getting good fats in. And that's going to help you get from one meal to the next without feeling super hungry. So again, insulin is part of the picture. It's not the whole picture, but it's an important part that we need to get control of. And the way we do that is by closing our feeding window. Now, like I said, some of you probably already don't eat breakfast, and if you don't, that's great. But if you're still eating 3 to 5 times a day, you're hurting yourself in the weight loss category. So let's get that insulin down, cut down our feeding window, cut down the amount of times we spike our insulin, and you're going to start to see results. And I hope you'll stay with me for this whole video series, because I'm not just going to teach you about hormones and all the science around how your body works, but I'm going to share with you recipes, workout habits, how I work out, intensity. I'm going to try to answer all your questions. And if you have any questions, be sure to post them below. Please like and subscribe. Let's start this journey together. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification so that you know when I post a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'm proud because you already took that first step of watching this video. Stay tuned. Welcome to the road to wellness, and let's lose that weight.